Hey everyone, happy Thursday to you. It is October 15th, and today is a very special day. We're 4 days before early voting begins for the November 3rd election, but today is also the last day of Hispanic Heritage Month. So, I've got some exciting things with us in store for tonight. So, the first lady we're going to speak to, because ladies are so important to this vote, is a woman who wears many hats. She is the clerk of the court for Orange County, Tiffany Moore Russell. She was our county commissioner for many years. She is an advocate for justice, one of the smartest women I know, and she's also wearing one of the lead hats for a very different kind of an organization, a special organization called Voting is Queen, and we're going to talk about that. Sami Haiman-Marrero is going to be our guest a little later, and she is the president and CEO of Urbender, and she's going to come along as well to talk about what the importance is of the Latin vote tonight. So we're going to introduce to some and just say hi for many others because everybody knows her. Tiffany Moore Russell, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you, Monica, for having me this evening.
I'm so excited, and especially when we finished like a Zoom call that we did today about the upcoming Central Florida Vote Fest. That is the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Never been an activity like this ever before here. No. And to put pastors on the same stage as queens, on the same stage as FRRC returning citizens with Desmond Meade, and then Souls to the Polls. The whole idea is just amazing. So let's talk about that. And listen, Central Florida, you got to come out and check this out because there's going to be excitement like you would not believe. Plus, you'll also get a chance to turn in your early vote ticket if you've already done that as well. So Tiffany, you have the floor. Tell us about Vote Fest.
So, I want to give huge kudos to the various organizations that originally we were all working in silos, Monica. You know how it goes. You have an idea and you just start calling your friends. Well, thankfully, some of us have mutual friends. Okay. So I was making phone calls when I was approached about Voting as Queen, and the pastors was making phone calls. And thankfully, there were a couple people that kind of merged those groups. And they said, well, you might want to talk to Clerk Russell. And they called me. They stopped their meeting and called me, Pastor Gray and Bishop McRae, and said, hey, would you like to be a part of this? And, for me, I don't think I can't live on an island alone. We have to do this together. We are one community. I mean, I truly believe we are stronger when we come together like a fist, right?
Yes.
So, you can point a finger, but as a fist, we are stronger together. So I was like, sure, let's get on board. And at the first meeting, we were all talking about Voting is Queen and Souls to the Polls. I said, well, let's go ahead and call the Central Florida Vote Fest. Forget about Essence, forget about Funk Fest. How about the Vote Fest, right? We're not selling tickets for anything. We are selling the right to vote. We are trying to encourage our people to vote. And so, I am excited because it allows us to bring our collective resources, our talents, our gifts, because we all bring something to the table that we need each other, that we can't do it by ourselves. And so I'm excited that we're coming together. And I truly hope that this coalition stays and we continue to do education after this, and we continue to make it bigger than just what this weekend is.
That is part of what Voting as Queen is all about, because we will be doing educational summits after this and just keeping people connected because, see, the right to vote, and we talk about it all the time, it's historical, and we're putting it in a historical location. We're putting it in smack dab in Paramore. We're going to be on the SED lawn right across from the Amway. But just think about how cool this is. When election and early voting begins, you'll be able to go inside the Amway to do that. And that's never been done before. So kudos to the NBA for thinking it, not robbery to let us use that space there. We want to turn tradition on its head, so to speak. And I got to tell you already, and as you and Sami already know, we've already begun to capture this election. This democracy is getting ready to turn around. although the lines have been ridiculous in some states like Georgia, and unfortunately, when you're doing your early vote and turning in your ballot to certain boxes, places like Houston, Texas, even with such a huge population with one drop-off box, so there are some things that we're doing with this that are, and I don't like to use the phrase out of the box because we should never be thinking inside of a box in the first place. But this Vote Fest is definitely an out of the box think tank, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. We did our poses, our pictures, the reasons why we're voting for equality, LGBTQ, education, housing. So many things are on this ballot. It is not just presidential. And
we have minimum wage discussion.
That's right. We always say, and Sami, I'm sure, will understand this part. Every time the ballot is open, every time there is an election, every time the polls are open, we need to show up and show out, And so what we're asking, especially with Voting as Queen, each one of us, and there's 30 of us, we were tasked with inviting 50 people. Just think about that. We're looking for what, 6,000 people we said we wanted to be out there, Tiffany?
And when you think about it, and I don't want to just vote. The queens are so diverse, which is what I also love. We have our elected officials of all the hues, right? And we have our female influencers such as yourself. But I want to highlight something as well, because I want to dispel this myth that women of color can't work together. Okay. We have all the presidents of our sororities, from Delta to Sigma Gamma Rho, Zeta Phi Beta, Alpha Kappa Alpha. Although Kamala is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, I think it speaks volumes that all the women of the Divine Nine are recognizing the importance of voting. And Monica, we've been phone banking for 2 weeks, so the Voting as Queen is bigger than even just the event. We've started our mobilization and GOTV efforts late September, talking to returning citizens. Now we're talking to voters, because you mentioned the lines, right? And so the goal is to talk to them about, have a voting plan. Know what your plan is. Anticipate a line. So if you're going to anticipate a line, have snacks, have water, bring a chair. Don't allow, when you show up, oh, I'm going to leave, right? Be prepared for whatever you're going to face so that you can make sure you can get your vote counted. And so Voting as Queen is, we're trying to, like you say, education, mobilization, as well as those early voting is our whole mission. And taking the whole gamut of when it calls GOTV, we want to just take it to the next level, right? We want to make sure that if nothing else, our community is excited. They see that we're here and that we're sending that message that voting is essential and important. And we want them to come out to vote.
So this event is October 23rd, 24th, and 25th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, the pastors are going to start it out. And what will that day look like, Tiffany?
So Friday is, I think Friday is pretty much those pastors coming together in unity, walking and exercising their vote together. And the message is so that their members and those they lead see them coming together as men of God and as pastors exercising their vote. Then we're going to go over to Shiloh Baptist Church, which is right near Amway, and we're going to have a citywide phone bank where we're going to be in the gym, calling voters, getting them out, letting them know where we're going to be this weekend. And the pastors are going to go over to Shiloh after they vote. They're going to call, and the rest of us are going to be calling. And so that's going to be what we call a GOTV activity that Friday, which is it's the culmination of all that phone banking to that Friday, where we're going to be phone banking from 10 to 7, calling voters. Whether we're going to go pick up their vote by mail or tell them how to drop it off, or they can vote early. We'll be calling voters that day. So that's what's going to happen that Friday. If you want me to keep Saturdays, Voting as Queen, where we again have many of our elected officials, our women. Monica is going to host that platform for us. So thank you, Monica May, the fabulous.
No problem.
We have leaders such as our state attorney, Aramis Ayala, who's going to give us a call to action, City Commissioner Regina Hill, Representative Geraldine Thompson, Representative Amy Mercado, so our Latin elected officials, Commissioner Mario Uribe is going to be out there. And so in addition to our surprise announcement we got today, Anthony Hamilton is on board. So we're excited, as well as CC Tennille and her band. I don't want to we recognize our local talent that we have as well. And then our National Panhellenic Council is going to be doing a unity step talking about voting, so they can see the efforts of us working together. So that's Mayor Buddy Dyer is going to be coming out there to greet us. And so we have a packed lineup. And then we're going to hand the baton to the Florida Restoration of Rights Coalition, Desmond Meade and his group. And they're going to be doing a march around Paramore. They have their special guests. I don't want to take their limelight. But they'll have their special guests coming out. That's that Saturday from 2 to 6.
I'm just going to say Common is going to be in the house.
Common, I didn't want to take Desmond's shine, but Common, he announced today that Common was coming with some other people. We don't know who that is, but Common is his name. So Saturday I'm just so excited because again, everybody's mission is about getting people out to vote. That's the purpose. It's a party with a purpose. It's, if nothing else, we want people to understand. We want some energy behind this, that we are excited. We can get excited about the playoffs. We can get excited about some new shoes or the new iPhone. But I want us to see that same energy and see our children see that same energy, that we can get excited about voting. Yeah, that it is a big deal. And so that's Saturday. And then Sunday, we go to the Souls to the Polls with our pastors, our leaders. And we're going to start at the Camping World Stadium at 1, and we're going to march. So it's the Souls to the Polls coming up Church Street down to Amway. And then 2 o'clock, they kick off, and their lineup is just as exciting. JJ Harrison, Dougie Fresh, Ricky Smiley is going to be co-hosting, just to name a few. So that's what it's. And Sunday is from 1 to 7. And so that's entertainment, voting. I'm looking forward to hearing Dougie Fresh.
Yeah, 6 minutes. 6 minutes to the poll, Dougie Fresh.
Yeah.
6 minutes. 6 minutes. It is fun. It is energy. We want you to bring your family out. And, the one thing, though, Tiffany, is that there was a big push to get everybody registered.
Yeah.
And we did that. And we pushed like, I don't know what. This has been great. Central Florida, you have done very well. So now that you got the first step, here comes the second step, and that's the mobilization. That's the actualization of you pulling that lever or pressing in the bubbles or whatever it is, and you're making sure that your vote counts. And we're also dispelling rumors during this Central Florida Vote Fest. It is safe to vote. It is COVID safe to come out to this festival too.
We're giving out masks. We're giving out masks. We're giving out pens because you have to bring your own pen with you to vote again, so you don't have to touch somebody else's pen. So we're being very cognizant of the precautions necessary to keep you safe, keep the community safe,
right?
To participate with us.
You know what? Let's talk to Miss Sami Marrero for just a moment. I wanted you two ladies to connect as well. Okay. Sami, how are you, my love? You doing well? I can't hear you.
You're muted.
There you are, baby.
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. I want to make sure that I am pronouncing your first name right. So
correct.
You say it.
Yes, Sami. Yes.
Sami?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Sami.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. For those of you who are watching, you know that we typically only do like a CNN 15 minutes. Well, we're going to go a little bit over because it's that important. Sami Marrero is a powerhouse. She's the president and CEO of Urbander. That's a minority and women business enterprise solution based agency, nonprofit and government sectors overcome their diversity, inclusion, and marketing challenges. She's big on voting. She's making sure that the Latin vote is counted. And Sami, you can hear by the excitement from Clerk Moore Russell what this Central Florida Vote Fest is all about. I know that my Latin brothers and sisters, and let me share something with you all tonight too. I don't talk about it often, but my family roots, my grandfather and mother and grandmother, actually Cuban, Jamaican, then came to Miami, then came to New York. Ask me how much Spanish I know, but I know how to love, hug, and just be inclusive. Yes. That is the one thing that I remember from a grandfather who basically spoke no English, but he could sing the most beautiful lullabies and strum a guitar. Yes, Papa Vernon. So I'm very, very, very much accustomed to what we have to do in terms of the struggle from both ends
Mhm.
of where
Yes.
we are with this vote. We've
Yeah.
come by far of boats. We've come by far of slave bracelets. We've come through so much. And I don't want to let our ancestors down. And we
Mhm.
can't do that. So, Sami, tell me what the Latin vote is looking like and what's the effort? What's the push?
We're and thank you for having me again. I just feel so honored to be in this space and having this conversation with both of you. Where I agree, it's about breaking down the silos. When I was hearing Miss Moore talking about that, I was like, yes, this is fantastic. And we're trying to do the same, just trying to activate the vote. First, it was a big push to get everyone to register. To figure out the best way to do so online, in person, just do it. And then now we're in that second phase of what are the different ways that you can actually activate that vote to make it count. And so we're pushing a big campaign under the Respeta Mi Gente, which is Respect My People banner. It's a coalition of Latino-led organizations supported by Alianza, who provided the funding for us to be able to create a dual language campaign, English and in Spanish, to be able to reach out to the entire community with a special focus on the Latino segment, but also those brothers and sisters of Latino heritage that don't perhaps command Spanish, because that's the thing, right? That they've been living here in the US, but they feel very Latino still, and so we wanted to be sensitive to that, but also communicate to the broader community, because we know that those messages in English will also resonate with anybody. The idea is to activate in stages. We are creating 18 videos, of which already about 12 of them have been disseminated on TV and also on social media platforms, focusing first on registration. Then it was about mail in, and how does that look like, right? You can mail it in or you can drop it off, right? Then it's the other stages when it's early voting. We're going to do a big push to do that. And then obviously the last call to action, which is, if you haven't done any of the above, for the love of God, please go vote November 3rd. Yeah.
Please.
Yes.
So I just, maybe you all could come out there on that Saturday with us.
That would be fantastic.
I'll give you some more information about that.
Yes.
Tiffany, we have people who have asked me DM or inboxed me on volunteering. We'll let them know about that. It's just so exciting to be able to not have barriers. We don't have barriers to this vote. You have to come. And if I sound serious against their, being, because I've watched us throw away so much, and I don't want us to do that any longer. We came out on the primary. We did pretty good. Orange did better than we have in a while. So we're waking up. Baby, when the lion wakes up all the way, which is what I'm hoping come November 3rd, you will have known that we have roared. And that's all I'm going to say.
Tell you, Monica and Sami, when I have friends in Georgia, members of my sorority, and even though I saw the 2-hour wait, even though I saw that, I didn't see any complaining. I saw people socializing, having a good time, brought their lawn chairs, brought snacks, shared refreshments, switched out so somebody can go to the restroom. So that gave me courage and hope that people aren't complaining about the lines. They're going to get the job done. So I don't know what our early voting is going to look like come Monday. But my message to people is, no matter what it looks like, have a plan so that you're prepared. As long as you're prepared, you're prepared for anything, right?
Yeah. Before we wrap up, we know that a lot of people got their ballots sent to them, and they really do want to use that mail-in ballot. I'm not thinking that they need to put it back in just any old mailbox. So can we explain to them the importance of maybe bringing it to an event or putting it in Sami's hand or Clerk Russell's hand?
So I can tell you right now, according to Bill Cowell's website, so I will tell anybody watching, you can always visit his website at ocfelections.com. And based on his website, we have a phenomenal supervisor of elections here in Orange County. You can take your absentee ballot right now to his office up until tomorrow. And they have a drive-by across the street, I think. Not, he has this little system set up. You just have to get out your car. You drive by and give it to a staffed person. Mm-hmm. So that's key. Bill Cowles, and then starting Monday at the early voting locations, they're going to be drop boxes, but they're going to be mailed. So don't put your ballot in a box if there's not a Bill Cowles staff person sitting there. Let me say it. Because Bill Cowles is going to have employed people manning that box. Not just an empty box sitting somewhere to the side. That's not how I want to, let's not get, this is Halloween, so we don't want to play any tricks on people.
Okay, right? All right.
So I just want people, as they're listening, you can put it you can take your ballot to any early voting location at those, before 7 p.m. But if you see a box, you have to make sure there's someone from the staff sitting there with that box.
Yes, absolutely. And before you fill out the mail-in ballot, something that's extremely important is to ensure that your signature matches your signature on your license or on your voter registration card. So that's critical to ensure that it does count.
And you have to sign the envelope.
Yes.
You have to sign the envelope.
Yes. And that was another thing. And then the other important measure is if it's not in Bill Cowles' office, and this is for Orange County, by 7 p.m. on November 3rd, now that way it won't be counted. And Tiffany, you've been one of the counters, and I know that there's a name for them.
The canvassing board.
Yes, for many years. Before we wrap up, I do want to say thank you so much to Alex Barrio. He is the legislative director for Alianza and also a candidate for District House 43, for Florida District House 43. And he was, just so gracious to ask me to connect with Sami because he was tied up tonight. There is another huge event going on this evening, and I know I was prepping someone for it. And I told them the one thing that's most important is that you don't lose your dialect, you just be you. And that's what I want to tell everybody. We sometimes think I can't do it because I don't talk like so-and-so, or my question may be dumb. Never a dumb question. And there's always people around you that look like you that want to help you. So again, we're inviting you to come out to Central Florida Vote Fest. It's going to be right on the lawn across from the Amway. It is next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You will hear more about it. We're going to post the flyer in just a moment. Anthony Hamilton will be out there on Saturday, and along with CeCe Tennille. Sunday, you have Common, you have Ricky Smiley, you have JJ Hairston, and you mentioned one other, Tiff.
I want to comment is on Saturday afternoon.
That's right.
Sunday is Dougie Fresh, JJ Harrison, and Ricky Smiley is hosting.
That's right. So I just wanted to invite everybody. And Sami, I am going to connect you and Clerk Moore Russell so that we can find out whatever we can do collectively. Let's do it. November 3rd, you guys, but this Monday starts early voting. You got to get out there, and you got to remember what Tiffany Moore said about this fist. Say it again, Tiff.
We are stronger together like a fist.
Yes.
We are.
I can knock you out too. Yeah. Ladies, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being on One Take Live tonight, and thank you for watching another edition. I'm Monica May. Have a blessed night and a wonderful week.